Welcome to the Console Xplosion podcast. You're listening to Matt from Edmonton, Alberta.
This is Kaz from cold -22, Ottawa, Ontario.
Hey, this is Antonio from actually Guadalajara, Mexico.
Greetings, gentlemen. Happy
Hello.
New Year.
Thank you.
Happy New Year, yeah.
I think that
Feels good to be back, sitting in the desk here.
Does it really?
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
a while since we've done this.
Yeah, it's been a good month.
Yep,
Well, it's
A good
first time
break.
for me, so
and welcome.
Yes,
Yeah.
welcome, Antonio. He's our newest addition to the website.
hello.
You want to give us a little spiel on what you do over there?
Sure, I
Yeah.
do a show. It's called Gokado Retro Reviews. In what I do, it's pretty much self-explanatory. I do reviews on retro games.
Yeah, he's got some good stuff there. Make sure you guys check that over at the website.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
check it
Yeah,
out.
I just finished seeing the first part of his trilogy for Golden Axe.
Oh yeah,
I love that game.
yeah, it's an amazing game actually.
So look
I hope-
for it, everybody.
Are you,
ConsoleExplosion.com.
you're doing the trilogy of just the three?
Yes, well, the first two were released in North America, but the third one was only a Japanese exclusive. But I'm doing that one as well.
I see.
So I'm gonna do those three only because that's the only three that I got so far.
Well, fair
Yeah,
enough.
he didn't want to do the part 4, which is the Beast Rider for PS3.
Yeah. Well, that I'm referencing that though, for sure.
It's a crappy game.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It is. The camera on that game sucks balls. Really.
Like it would rather be facing somebody's balls than facing the game.
Probably not that far, but close.
That's a reliable camera for you. I mean, just gotta
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was your Christmas there, Matt?
Pretty freaking sweet. I mean, not to gloat too much, but there was a fair amount of feasting. You know, lots of family gatherings and whatnot. But then I got myself some new gear. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I'm using a new microphone. I hope my voice is coming through
Ooh.
sensually for you.
Mhm.
Yes, and just been busy doing Co-op Couch. It's been kind of nice to not have to deal with the burden of the podcast, you know, for the other half. I can utilize all my time and focus on one thing instead of having to delegate my schedules.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Did you focus on much of the news that happened over the holiday season? I mean, there was a fair amount that happened, but it was more or less a dry spell.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing was the PlayStation and Xbox network being knocked down again.
Well, yeah, but come on, you didn't expect that? Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
But that's kind of a new thing, though, right? I mean, it used to be that we had those PSN and Xbox network working over the holidays up until probably last 3 years or so, where we start to have issues.
Right.
But before we didn't have any issues of those during the holidays that I remember.
Well, no, it never seemed to be on this caliber, you know? But it wasn't like a game launched and the servers broke down because they couldn't handle the traffic. This was complete opposite of that. It was a DDoS attack. I believe it was Anonymous that came forward for that. Like, they actually had people being interviewed just sort of like boasting about pulling off this stunt, ruining
It was
everybody's
Lizard.
Christmas.
It was Lizard Squad.
Was it Lizard Squad? Okay.
It was Lizard Squad. You can check out their Twitter. They claimed, oh, if we get 10,000 retweets, we'll turn it back on and all this stuff. And they actually went to attack something of Anonymous, and Anonymous said that Lizard Squad needs to watch what they're doing, or Anonymous is going to expose them. So there's some fighting between hackers there.
Yeah, it's interesting how that sort of relation is developing there. Like, I wasn't sure how the two oppositions stood off on each other, but like, they're obviously not in tandem with one another. They obviously have completely different agendas with what their intent is, with their abilities. And it seems like Lizard Squad is more willing to intimidate the populace and, I guess, make examples like, we are God and we can pull the kill switch. That is us.
But it's just a DOS attack. It's not like it's, it's not like Anonymous who can, take over Twitters and, bank accounts and all that jazz. It's just a DOS attack, right?
Just a helpless DOS attack. I mean, a lot of people...
A DOS attack is just a script on a computer. It's real simple to do. It's not...
So is anything with hackers, though. It's all script.
But is it, the thing is that from what I understand, at least, is that Anonymous seem to have some sort of reason behind what they do, right? That to expose whatever they want to expose, and these little shits, they just want to, because they want to just show them that they can do that, right? That's the only thing I can figure from these guys.
Like, at first, when we were addressing this stuff, like last year, I figured it was just, kids trying to get themselves noticed in the hacking scene. But now I'm beginning to believe that they're truly trying to, like, build some sort of organization on this to... I don't want to take it to an extreme as global domination, but they obviously want to have some control and order. And, I mean, I wouldn't say that they're pulling the right punches, but they're definitely getting the world's attention, and nobody will listen to them unless an attack happens. Like, until that happens, and people's distraction is taken away, nobody's going to listen to anybody from Lizard Squad or even Anonymous. So
no, well, the big difference is, like, you can look at Anonymous. Anonymous says, look, if you do this, we will retaliate with this. If you do this, we're going to expose this. So if you don't want us to do this, then do XYZ. So people do XYZ, then they don't do it. I've noticed with Lizard Squad, they said, retweet this. We want 100 followers. We want 1,000 followers on our lizard god, and they put out his Twitter account.
So they have like a totem.
Yeah, so they would get that. They would get, the number of retweets or the number of followers and all that jazz, but yet not follow through on their part. Anonymous at least follows through, and that's where I think the big difference is it's, if you're going to be, I guess, against the establishment, follow through, or you're just being an idiot.
Well, you're just poking everybody. Like, nobody's gonna like you if you just keep cutting off their toys and all their nice flashy things just to get their attention. Like, nobody's gonna bother listening to you. It's like, this shit over here is far more interesting. You're telling me you're gonna kill that switch and it's gonna take 5 days for that to get back up? Fuck you. I don't want to listen to you.
Yeah.
But like groups like Anonymous seem to have some sort of they're trying to be like vigilantes almost. Like they seem to be more willing to provide justice, and they know where they can take their abilities, but they what am I trying to say here? They have the integrity to not do that.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
They're respectful to everybody. They're like, we understand the world would just like explode if we were to come in as just like this full force. I mean, the world runs on computers. Once you like figure out how to control them, like you know, it's almost like a superpower. You feel like you could rule the world. So I see these as like two polar opposites. Anonymous is at least with us in some sense. I mean, they seem to be going after terrorists at this point right now. Over the holidays, they did some public speaking, and they said, watch what you're doing, because we'll track you down. That was just like a threat to Al Qaeda or something like that. I don't even know why I say Al Qaeda anymore. It's not that. It's who cares? Guys with guns.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no, there's really not much else to say about that.
No, I think everybody kind of gets it. I'm just annoyed with them. It didn't affect me because I'm a PC gamer and PC's awesome, PC master race. But at least when it comes to online gaming, it works.
Mm-hmm. for the most part.
But like it doesn't seem to be hurting Sony too much. Like they're impressed with the sales. Like they've jumped over 19 million sales worldwide or something like that. They've just been going to town. Like, who won the holidays this year? I don't even know. Analysts haven't even put data out. I don't even know who's won this year.
Well, again, they say Xbox. They say the Xbox One won for most sales in the month of December. But, you and I have talked about this before. There's 18 million units of a PlayStation 4 out, sold, and 14 million sitting in stores or some crap like that. They said, I don't know that last part, but it's like, Xbox is like, oh, well, we've sold overall, 8 million units, but we outsold the PlayStation 4 in December, so we're doing better. But it's like, you're really not.
Well, didn't they have a price drop recently as well?
Yeah.
Like they stopped including the Kinect thing, and they had like $50 off or something like that.
And that helped them in the sales. Like that helped them quite a bit.
Yes.
But I mean, it's like everyone already owns a PlayStation 4. So you know what? Now they're gonna save some money, and then they're gonna get Christmas money, so they're gonna go buy the competition as well. Now they can. Right? So I think that's where the sales increase is coming from. It's just PS4 owners buying Xbox Ones.
I actually had a friend who had his entire heart set on buying an Xbox One. And he goes into the store, and I don't know how, but he walks out with a PS4. He bought himself Destiny along with 2 other games because Sony had some promotion going where I think it comes bundled with Far Cry 4 or one of those games of your choice. Destiny can be another, and then it also came bundled with 2 games or some shit like that. But it wasn't the bundle that won him over, I guess, from what he puts it, and I don't know if this is true. Could just been misinformed. They're saying, he was telling me that they were selling refurbished consoles, which I don't think is happening in this. It's not yet in the first year of the Xbox One's lifespan. I don't know if refurbished consoles are even happening.
Refurbished for the Xbox or for the PS4?
For the One. And he didn't like the fact that they were refurbished, so he went with the PS4 instead. I
think he just got duped by a salesperson.
Who knows? But I applaud that sales guy. If he's rooting for the. I can't even call them underdogs because they're dominating. But I'm just happy that we're converting people.
Yeah.
One thing that Sony did have to do over the holidays though was beef up their sales system for the anniversary edition. Did you hear on what was going on with this?
There 60 games or 20 games or no 60 games on sale on the PSN network.
That's not what I'm talking about at all.
Yeah.
Oh, you said for their 20th anniversary.
Yeah, the edition.
Yeah, the edition.
Yeah, and that's what they have going on a PlayStation 4 right now. It's the store is just updated to 60 games that are like $10 each.
Okay, so
or
that
some
is
crap like that.
Granted, in your defense, that is a sales system, but I'm talking about the system that they implemented to distribute these 20th anniversary editions, these exclusive consoles.
Oh, the white ones.
No,
Yes.
Is it the gray ones or the? Well,
It's the gray ones.
yeah, that look like the old PS1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how it worked is when you followed the link, you had to solve a clue. You go back to Sony's site, click on the appropriate character. This would then make a secret form available, and the first 100 people to fill out the form each day would then be able to buy the console from game. But I guess it didn't take long for people to pool their resources, share their links as quickly as possible. It said that thousands of hopeful buyers were able to submit their entries within minutes. So Sony can't exactly, pinpoint who was supposed to get it. There was just so many submissions.
Yeah. And to give you an idea of what they're selling for on eBay, 1,700, 2,600, 19, 23, 29.
Wow.
So yeah.
Are people buying
14,000?
I mean, do people actually buy those for those prices? Do we know? We can see, right?
There's a market for this kind of stuff. There's a reason people do it.
Well, there's one for 800.
I mean, we're talking limited edition, only 1,500 made for the entire world.
Yes.
And I mean, it's that exclusivity that gives its value, and that's what people are going to cling to. And there are collectors out there that will drop that money for it without question. If they didn't score it in the sign up, they're going to score it on eBay, and they're going to hopefully get it for the cheapest price they can find it at. But, you know, I think at that point, all that shit's out the window. It's just the goal now is to get your hands on that stupid system.
Well, I think if people just wait, you know, you wait it out, the prices will drop. And I think that's what needs to happen.
There's only one 20th anniversary, dude.
So, it'd still be the 20th anniversary next year.
But there's still
The
only going to be
20th anniversary after that.
There's still only going to be 1,500 PlayStation 4s with that color scheme.
Yep, but there's 3 pages worth of...
It also has like sounds that are reminiscent of the PlayStation 1.
It makes the original PlayStation 1 boot up
sound, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, there's 3 pages of these being overpriced. So, you know, the longer you wait, these $3,000 and $14,000 ones will come down.
Do you believe Sony would actually, after seeing what's happening with this version, would they manufacture more to try to combat what's happening?
You mean like make more limited edition consoles? Or do more in the future for other anniversaries? Well,
both cases. Make more of this specific anniversary edition, and also for, well, in the future, I'm sure they'll probably make for the 25th and the 30th and whatnot. But this particular one, if they just make, manufacture a little bit more, another batch of them.
Well, there's obviously a demand for it, but that's the point of the limited edition. Only 1,500 made. They seem pretty set on that. But I'm more curious to see if, like, this kind of behavior, if they're going to do this kind of fan service for people, you know, and be like, hey, thanks for being with us for this last 20 years. It's been an awesome ride. We're not, you know, people don't normally do this, but we're going to make a commemorative console for this, and, you know, for you guys for being such good fans. And then the fans go around and are just, you know, trying to build a profit off of it, because it's like, we have an exclusive console from, you know, our beloved console maker. Like, I think it's the biggest bitch smack to anybody's face, really. Like, people do it to make money, and then it just gets moved on. I don't like it. I don't like that this market exists. I wish that people actually respected that shit more.
Well, it's the same shit with the amiibos, right? It's the same shit with the amiibo stuff, right? It just as soon as some shortages come in, people will try to make a profit of it.
Those are driven by a collection factor, just like trading cards, just like the Spyro dolls, all that kind of stuff. When it comes to a console, like, that's something I want to keep in my living room. If I was able to score that, I would keep that for life, or at least till I'm well within my 50s and I'm looking at maybe passing my stuff on. Like, that's something I want to keep in my collection for a very long time. Otherwise, it's just a regular PS4. Like, that's all it is. Only now it's got some fancy bells and whistles to it. Now people are going to drop, like, you know, 6 times the amount they could have paid for it just because some dickhead out there got it, who doesn't even care to own it. He just wants it for the money.
Yes.
And so I got out of luck because dickhead got in line before me.
Just like the iPhone.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't care for iPhones. Don't even go there. But I mean, shit's not all golden sun and rainbows in Sony land. Apparently, and I don't know if you guys remember back when I did the weekly updates, I did a report on the Killzone lawsuit that was developing. And apparently this class action lawsuit is going through.
Ugh. That is the dumbest lawsuit I've ever heard of.
Now, to bring you guys back up to speed on what exactly happened here, there was one individual that came forward and charged Sony with a suit on, and I'm trying to skim it right now because I can use their fancy terminology without stumbling on my words. He's seeking damages in excess of $5 million in claims of negligent misrepresentation, false advertisement, unfair competition, fraud, and inducement. Sony was advertising the Killzone game, I guess falsely, under false pretenses. It's not a true 1080 high definition experience. I guess they do some special techniques, some sort of like light bending, whatever you want to take it, however you interpret it. It's not true HD, and so some texture packs are out of whack. Maybe some color schemes are a little weird. I don't even think it's that obvious. I've never played the game, but I can't find any footage that demonstrates what this is about. All they can go by is what has been stated and what's been confirmed, and there's no denying it. The game isn't at 1080p. So when Sony was sitting there and marketing it as a launch title for their console, I guess they may have, dressed it up a bit too much. And I think to support that suit as well, there was a complaint, something about playing it on the Vita. I'm trying to draw from memory now, like back from the time when I was reading on it. Like at this point, all I'm trying to say here is that this lawsuit's happening, and I'm really pissed off that it is, because this is just somebody taking advantage of some stupid discrepancy. And again, another fucking quick cash grab. Fucking trolls, man, they're out there.
Yep. It's stupid with how, the mentality, the state of where we're at when everyone can sue everyone for something as meaningless as this. When you take a look at like the whole Alien Colonial Marines fiasco, right? There should be people being sued there.
Yeah, that's probably a lawsuit that I would approve right there.
Yeah, the Aliens game has more warrant for this kind of treatment. I mean, Killzone happened, it came and left. Like, they're going to probably come out with another one. We'll maybe see it at E3 this year. Who knows? They'll just keep making these games, and you'll just keep buying them. So, fuck you. Why do you got to take it into court just because of specifics?
Exactly.
It's like, oh, based on the law book, I can take you guys to court. And because it's class action, because other people now realize that this is sort of like, the argument that stands behind it, though, is I bought this game at full price. I want a refund. But they don't refund software, so I'm going to take them for all their fucking money. Because they cheated me out of a game. For some reason, people feel entitled to that.
In class action lawsuits, it's funny because a company will just say, you know what, fine, we'll pay the $1 million settlement, but it's divided between all the class action people. So it turns out that everyone gets like 3 cents at the end of it.
Oh my
and
God.
It's like, is it worth it?
Wouldn't that just be the best, though? I think that would probably, to get your glorification, if you're the victim in this case and you had to pay out that $1 million, if the guy that started the suit only got 3 cents out of it, I'd say justice was done.
That's why bigger companies will say fine. They'll wait for the class action lawsuits to grow, and they'll pay attention to how many people are joining up. And then when it gets to a high enough number, they'll say, fine, we'll settle it with X amount of dollars. And then it gets divided between all the people.
Wonder how many people you need to start a class action suit.
Over 10.
It's really that small?
Yep.
Oh. Well, there you go.
Well, the lawyer will make his money or her money at the end of the day, so he will be making his money. The people hopefully get the 3 cents and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a great ending to this story. I would love to see.
Well, exactly. That's why it was like the last class action lawsuit was the one for that we received was for the aliens, and it worked out that at the end of it, everyone got $10.
Because people don't think this shit through when they do it. It's just like, I can sue somebody for money. I could get money. Yeah, let's fucking do this, you know?
I can get millions. Okay, let's do it. And it's like, and look.
Next thing you know, somebody's suing another person because they falsely claim they can make more money than what they actually received.
It's all the lawyers. A bunch of scum-sucking.
It's the judicial system. Fucking kick that thing right in the balls. Come on. Lawyer's job is just to work the system. Okay? That's what their role is. To keep that neutral party.
No. Lawyers are scum-sucking people that
can be,
try
very
to
much
make
so.
sure that they get money. Well, I'm just going to use this as a story actually I just read in the newspaper. 3 boys were riding their bicycles at night. A impaired driver hit them, killed one of the boys, seriously injured another one, and the other one was hurt as well. She is suing the dead kid's family and the injured
It's a
kid.
countersuit. She doesn't want to get pinned with something.
No. She's suing them for $10 million.
Was it because
What's her
her
claim?
car?
Stress, post-traumatic stress syndrome.
For
And
killing
she's saying that-
somebody. Well deserved.
Yep, and her husband, who is a police officer who is driving behind her, is suing as well for $1 million. The dead kid's parents, and the other kids.
They just want to make sure that they're not put at fault in this accident. I think is
Well, they are
all
at
that
fault.
is
She was
for.
drinking,
Well, yeah,
and he was drinking,
so
but
they're
he's a
taking it to
cop,
an extreme.
so he's a cop, so they wrote off that they weren't impaired. So now they're,
Okay, this all sounds corrupt, but for whatever you're saying, it still doesn't correlate to lawyers. Aside from it going to
it's
court.
the lawyer who said, "Hey, let's sue them,"
Because they're paying the lawyer to win.
and the lawyer should say, "No, that's dumb." And there's some ethical.
The lawyer doesn't make
there's some
money.
ethics.
You're right.
There's
There's ethics.
ethics.
There's morals too. But it's court. The whole point of court is to have the discussion and come to a conclusion. You got to come to a consensus on some decision that's made. And if both parties are saying that they're not at fault, you got to fucking bash heads. And the lawyers, unfortunately, are at the short end of the stick because they're obviously not shined in the best light. As far as I know, you got to win the case before you can, get paid as a lawyer. So
No, you get paid no matter what.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw.
okay, that was ignorant of me to say then.
Yeah, you get paid no matter what.
I
They don't give it.
I don't pay much attention to this kind of shit. It's just like, yeah, lawyers, but they still have to do their job. That's what they're paid to do.
Blood sucking parasites.
That just comes with the job. Like, that's a fucking label you get when you walk right out of college. But why
Not
doesn't
the
that-
ones that work for civil or work for low income people. Those ones are fine. It's the ones that do these big cases that their whole dealing is that, or people who or the lawyers that look after the child rapists, and then it's like all the evidence shows that he raped the kid, but he's gonna make it that this guy gets off.
Yeah, but the problem is that the system allows that, right? The system allows the lawyer to be able to make the claims.
Exactly.
And put a case. So and then but also you have the lawyer being a, as you said, a blood-sucking parasite.
Blood-sucking parasite.
Yeah.
A lot of them are, but I don't want to discredit, the honorable lawyers out there that actually do their job because they stand for what's right.
Oh no, and that's what I said, right? But it's the ones that are gold diggers.
But they're everywhere. I mean, if we just go by this term gold digger, there's a gold digger in everything.
Even 20th anniversary PS4s. There you go. Gold diggers
There's
up
gold
there.
diggers. All of it's for the purpose to make money. I don't think anybody else would bother to do anything more than that if it wasn't for profit.
Mm-hmm.
In some way, if it's not actual wealth, then it best be something else. But as long as everyone's getting paid, no questions asked, right?
Right.
Yep.
That's the understanding, I guess.
Speaking of wealth, did you hear what the Minecraft's creator did?
Fucking Notch bought himself a house.
He bought himself a house. He pissed off 2 of the biggest names in music.
Beyonce and Jay-Z, right?
Yep. Outbid them. $70 million for this house
insane.
in Beverly Hills.
The
That
most
is-
expensive home in Beverly Hills, is it not?
The most expensive property. Yeah.
Yes. 23,000 square feet. That's just the
Has an-
house. I haven't even seen the backyard.
Yeah.
Well,
An
good for him, right?
18-seat tiered screening room, an 18-foot onyx dining table. Like, it's just
Candy
amazing.
room.
Toilets that are priced at $5,600. There's
Three.
eight bedrooms and 15 bathrooms,
Wow.
You haven't.
and a James Dean motorcycle.
Okay, but you haven't mentioned the most important thing.
What's
Every
that? It's
single
built out of
toilet
blocks.
in that building is priced at $5,600 each.
Didn't I say that?
You said toilets. I don't think you gave us a price though. You didn't give us any money.
No, I think I did.
Well, the most important part, though, is
Thanks,
that that the fountains are controlled by iPads. What the fuck is that for? Why would you want to control a fountain with an iPad?
I think most home automation is supportive with iPad more so than it is with Android. I actually, come to think of it, I've never actually seen an Android operated home automation system. Apple seems to have like their own division like developing this technology though. Seems to be in very close quarters. They're all sleeping together.
Yeah. The one thing I'm jealous about this house, though, is that candy stock that he has.
Yeah, but is that just like one kind of candy? Like, are they all just Smarties or M&Ms or Skittles, or is it like various kinds? I can't tell.
There's like 50 different kinds there. But
there
still,
is tons.
Can you imagine filling that when it's empty? You just pay someone just to fill that up.
Oh yeah.
It's ridiculous. Way to go, Notch. Way to spend your $2.5 billion.
I'd pay someone just to open my front door. If I was as rich as he was. Like, he probably just dropped pennies. I don't know how rich this guy is, but I mean, I'm proud of him. I have no reason to be, but I'm happy that, you know, this is kind of where his adventure ends. Not saying that Notch is going away, but we see the conclusion with what Minecraft has done for Notch.
Yep.
He sold the property, bought the most ballin' house in Bollywood, Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And the guy's living life now. He doesn't even have to deal with Minecraft anymore. He's just fucking... He could retire.
I think he is.
I don't think so. I think he intends to continue to make games. But
You think so?
Yeah, I do. And that's
I don't know.
Well, but this is good, right? I mean, this for the industry as a whole, because, you know, this puts inspiration to whatever other creator can look at this and say, hey, this Minecraft guy made this game, and now look at him, right? So I can probably be doing that as well, and you know, serve as inspiration for the whole industry.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
I think it's good.
I mean, think about it. 10 years ago, did you think that game developers got this kind of stuff?
No, nope.
No, I didn't really think they were taken as seriously in the, you know, among everyone else. I guess at that time the video game industry was much smaller, and now it's actually one of the biggest. It is the biggest industry next to oil and gas, is it not? Or does that sort of?
In the entertainment business, it is the biggest one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's followed by the movie industry, but it's not even close though in amount of profit. I think it's much more games now.
Well, they all seem to be merging into one another. If anything, like movies are becoming more like games, and games are becoming more like movies. Eventually, it'll just be one thing. Virtual reality. Let's talk virtual reality. Like that's what it's going to be. You're going to be in the movie. Boom, done. It's a game. The decisions you make affect the outcome. You're done. You're living a movie. It'll all
kind of like the new game, or that Dawn, whatever that game's called.
Wait, what? Dawn? Oh, with Hayden Panettiere?
Yeah.
Oh, with the monster thing.
The decisions you make, you know, affect the 8 individuals in the game, right? Like just like a movie. Like if you throw a pot, that pot is going to be there for the next person. Which reminds me, because I remember we were talking on another podcast about how it would be cool if they did like a Friday the 13th type thing. And they announced that they're making a Friday the 13th multiplayer game where one person's the killer and 8 others are the camp counselors.
Yeah, it sounds great. I want to play it.
Yes.
It already sounds like a cool concept, so fuck it.
So stoked.
It could be a text-based adventure game, and I'll still play it.
So stoked.
That's how stoked I am. Let's move on to something else here. Have you heard of the Nintendo Quest?
No.
It's okay. Rob McCallum. He's a man behind Nest Club. I don't even know what that is. I guess it's he's planned to create a documentary of him following his buddy Jay Bartlett as they try to amass the entire NES library within the NTSC region. They're going to do it within 30 days with no online purchases. They're going strictly on foot. They're going to tackle every single thrift shop, every single used game store, and they're going to try and bring all of the NES games together in 30 days. I think that's pretty sweet. So he started a Kickstarter campaign here, and he's asking for money.
Of course he is.
But it's to distribute his movie. They don't seem to be too concerned about getting the movie done. They're making it, but they've started a Kickstarter, and they want some distribution. It says of some of the targets you can hit, you can get a chance to host an advanced screening of Nintendo Quest. You can receive a special edition DVD and Blu-ray with extra content. You can, or an expanded soundtrack of original 8-bit music. Or you'll get NES replica boxes, carts, or disc bundles. So I'm just plugging that because, you know, it's exciting. Nobody talks NES these days. Unless, you know, gamers like us.
I do. I talk NES games.
Well, that's what I mean. Like us, we
Yeah.
talk that stuff, and it's cool. It's all
Yeah.
kind of mentioned in conversation. But these guys are going out actually doing something, and they're making a movie around it, and I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Continue to embrace it. Continue to bring that kind of stuff. Have you guys ever watched and this is a shameless plug, but the Game Chasers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
they got
love
some
those
good
guys.
stuff in there. I love that program. So if we can keep like bringing in programming like that, you know.
Yeah. I was looking into the rules though. I don't know if you guys saw the rules of you know what constituted them getting all the NES games, right? And they are talking, well, of course, the the unlicensed stuff, right? The unofficial stuff, but also no contest or exclusive games. So this means that no Nintendo World Championships or Flintstones Surprising Dinosaur's Pick, right? So yeah, I mean, if you put it that way, you're probably gonna take out a huge chunk of the actual hard games to get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the rare games, right?
Yeah, yes, because all the rare games are the contest ones or the blockbuster exclusives, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are the ones that are actually hard to get. All the other ones are probably it's doable for sure.
Could you imagine they just like go to their local game stores and they just spend like a day at each location and they just sort through all of their NES games and pick out one of each? By the time they're out of there, just could you imagine what's left behind? Just empty shelves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Theoretically, it can work. There's only 678 licensed NES games that he needs to get.
Yep.
So, in theory, this should work.
And I didn't find anywhere mentioning, but do you know if he had already, you know, a bunch of games from that he had before starting this thing, or?
I guess that is something to consider. Is he going to take some of his personal collection into account? I don't.
It probably is because he's got. I know he has Cheetah Man 1, Cheetah Man 2, and Action 52.
Slow down for a second.
Oh.
The purpose of this project is to build a documentary just on the concept of a man collecting the entire NES library, right? So it would just be easy to be like, well, I already have all these, so let's go out and find the rest. But this, from what it's telling me, he's getting, like, from the very first NES game to the very last, he's going to get every single one out in the wild. He's going to assemble a complete collection just by going out on foot.
So he says. Or they just make a store and it's like, oh, look, I scored Cheetah Man 2 here. Oh my God. Look, I bought it for,
Whichever
wow,
way they spin it,
50
I'm sure.
cents.
You know, if they're good at editing, they can definitely fool us. But, you know, the truth comes out eventually. So if that sort of thing is going to be pulled, I'm sure someone out there will set it straight. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm sure questions are coming out. I just want to
Oh,
see
yeah.
this happen. Like, I would love to see if it's possible. In theory, it should
Mhm.
work.
I totally agree. I believe that it's. I wish them all the luck.
Yeah.
I wish something I would do if I had money.
Like Notch.
Yeah.
Buy the most ballin' house in Beverly Hills, then go on a 30-day adventure to collect your entire NES collection. And I'd probably do the same for Sega Genesis and then every other console following that. That's what I would do if I was Notch. Fuck making games.
If I had $2.5 billion, I'd do it for every system.
Oh yeah.
And then some.
Yeah. Just have a huge room dedicated to that.
Absolutely. I would build a church.
Or like the Nintendo Jesus or what?
It'd be Mario. No, it would be Shigeru Miyamoto. I don't think it would be Mario. Like the true creator, you know?
Yeah.
And then I could have all the Nintendo characters as like the demigods or the angels or archangels or whatever those things are, you know?
Yeah.
I could build a whole lore around this.
The first church of Nintendo.
No, well, I guess it's sounding very much like it should be Nintendo. And yes, Shigeru Miyamoto would be the Jesus in that church, but...
And then you're saying all the Nintendo characters would be...
Well, yeah, I guess you're right. It was all Nintendo, but now I'm starting to think like if it was to be a video game church, like if it was just going to be the church of video games, who would
the church
be
of V.
who would be on top? Who would be the big cheese?
Oh wow.
I mean, like there's the implication of the higher power, of course, but who's the one that we worship? Who's got the statue in the front? Like who are we going to be? Who is it, guys? I'm asking. This is an open question.
So you say Miyamoto would be the one behind the curtain?
For Nintendo, I don't know if he would be on top of the world, but
well, when you think video games, who do you think?
Tim Schafer.
Who? Tim Schafer.
Tim Schafer. Duh.
No, yeah, I mean, it's hard to top Miyamoto, right? I mean,
it really is. I mean, he's way up there, but there's got to be some other people.
Bill Gates.
No, why Bill
Gunpei
Gates?
Yokoi, right? Gunpei Yokoi, he's the creator of the Game Boy. So he actually
Masahiro
probably
Sakurai, you know, except that's all Nintendo.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that invented Pong?
Oh fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
He just died last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
We said that way too
Alan
positively.
Alcorn. So that would be the man behind the curtain. Alan Alcorn.
So yes,
and then the face would be Miyamoto.
On his right side.
Yep. And then Bill Gates on the other.
Why Gates? Why Bill Gates?
I made the Xbox. I made a gaming machine.
Made the Xbox. You know why they made the Xbox? Because they felt that DirectX could be used in the home console market, so they made an Xbox. Proprietary hardware that is dedicated to using DirectX software.
Mm-hmm.
And then they built that whole brand, and here we are at the third revision of that system. Did you know that they won an Emmy? Microsoft won a fucking Emmy.
Yep.
Really? For what?
I didn't even know this kind of Emmy existed, but apparently the Emmys can be rewarded to media devices that I guess, and I'm bringing up the article right now. So they won this year, but this award has also been given to Apple, TiVo, Roku, and Sony. And it's the award for television enhancement devices. And they got it specifically for their One Guide app and their whole Snap menu feature.
That's probably the dumbest award I've heard ever.
Yeah, and I don't know why they get that kind of recognition at the Emmys. Like, I thought that was all just for the actors and the people that actually work on the projects, not the ones that bring the entertainment to you.
Yeah, to the facility you see in it, it's just dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Ironically enough, like this feature that they awarded Microsoft for, you can't take advantage of this feature unless you pipe through some sort of like cable signal to the box.
Oh.
So, anyways, yeah, just fun little mention there. Something that Microsoft is certainly gloating about. Oh, it's a great honor that they're recognizing our game system as a media device. I guess that's the whole purpose of them marketing this Xbox One, is it not? So
It's just Xbox trying to make things bigger than it really is. We outsold the PlayStation. We're dominating.
we're still in it, guys. We're still in it for the win.
We won an Emmy. But then you notice Sony's already won one too. They're like, yeah, thanks for joining the club.
Yeah. At least they weren't like arrogant enough to be like first ones to win Emmy, you know.
Yeah.
It wasn't even for like Halo Forward Unto Dawn or like any of those digital shorts that they've been putting out. Like it was for strictly for hardware.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen any of those?
Yeah, I did like Forward Unto Dawn. I haven't. Is the new one out yet? There's supposed to be
know.
2 new projects. One Ridley Scott is making, and then the other one, I believe it's Spielberg is producing it, or I could no, maybe it's
Spielberg did the last one too. The Forward to Dawn or whatever, the one that's on Netflix, anyways.
Forward Unto Dawn.
I don't know any lore for Halo, so I've not watched any of those things. Or I probably played the first game and that's it.
I think they do a pretty good job of like laying out the foundation for everything. Like, you know.
So are these prequels, before the first game, or?
No, I mean they allude to the first trilogy. And I guess technically up to Halo 4, or no. And I don't mean Halo 4, I mean Halo, Bungie did like 6 or 7 Halo games. And then 343 Industries took over, and that's where Forward Unto Dawn started. And that ties its lore in with the plots and the story that takes place in Halo 4. And then that story continues into Halo 5 Guardians, which then has another digital short coming out, which I think is the one Spielberg's doing. And so from there, it just kind of goes out. So I think if you can disregard all of the Bungie, and you could just, if you wanted to watch Forward Unto Dawn, it would strictly be like the new stuff. I don't think it would take it away. It's been a while since I've watched it, but I will say this, like it's worth a watch. It's fun. And it's only like an hour. It's like as long as a feature film, so.
So you think a guy like me that I've only played the first game. I didn't care to play any of the other ones.
Okay. I don't mean to interrupt, but disregard the game aspect of it. I mean, yes, it's a digital short and it's inspired by the game, but it's intended to be like its own thing.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't have to have played the games to appreciate the
I really
shorts.
Don't. If you love sci-fi, if you love gunfights, if you like aliens getting bullets shot into their heads, like it's all of that's in there. It's all fine.
Okay.
It's no different than what you could maybe see like what they did with Dead Space, and I guess Mass Effect did it too. Like they've started to come out with like these animes and these mangas to sort of like explore further into the lore and the backstory of the game. And I've like, if we're just speaking of Dead Space, a friend of mine, Matt Humphrey, he's part of the Co-op Couch show. He's actually like watched those animes, and we played through Dead Space 1 and a little bit of Dead Space 2, and he's noticed like a few names and stuff that's mentioned, but it doesn't like take him out of the experience that he's getting from the game. Like the stories are so far apart from each other that there's only like very small like crossed sections, and it's just brief mentions. Like these people just so happen to have seen each other in passing at this moment. But in fact, they really have like no acknowledgement of either one's existence or stuff like that, you know? So it's more of that kind of stuff. Like for the events that happen in Forward Unto Dawn, as a matter of fact, you see sort of what happens after the fact in the Halo 4 game. That's tied into that campaign story. So, you know, you're actually getting the first taste of the new Halo story in Forward Unto Dawn before you start playing Halo 4.
Okay.
How's that?
That's great. Actually, it sounds good.
Yeah, man.
I saw the Dead Space anime. I think there are 2 of them, and I saw both of them, and I played the first and second game. And as you said, I played the games first, and when I saw the animes, it's just adding to it, right? It's not really,
Right.
you're not losing a lot. It's just adding to it. So
Mhm.
that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're coming from like I played the games first and I liked them, so I go to the anime. My buddy
Yes.
came from the complete
Yes.
opposite, so he saw it from a completely different perspective. I had no idea who Isaac Clarke was, but I heard his name mentioned. But he wasn't sitting there going like, "Well, who the fuck is Isaac Clarke?" I mean, I've never watched the animes. I would trust that he had some kind of importance, but according to my friend, he didn't.
No.
So
No, he's not even there at all. He's mentioned though.
yeah, yeah. So it's more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So where do we go from that? Here, I'm gonna start listing off things. This isn't even like honorable mentions. If anything, this entire episode's been honorable mentions. But I got like a series of small headlines I can read off to you guys. Antonio, I know you heard the show a little bit. This part of the show, I just kind of like, it's a lightning round. I just shoot it all out there. But if you guys have opinions, you're welcome to pop in at any time. Okay. So apparently, Blizzard's Overwatch may have to undergo a name change. The new IP that the company unveiled, I think it was summer or early fall. If any of you guys have seen it, it's like that Pixar multiplayer shooter. They're probably going to have to change it due to a suspended trademark.
Who's like they didn't renew it, or someone else?
Overwatch has been suspended due to a trademark filing of Overwatch by Innovis Labs Incorporated, which supersedes Blizzard's trademark application. So they had a trademark set for something called Overwatch, and I think those are given like a period of time before it's up for validation again. So I guess this company still had it within that window, and Blizzard had no clue that this thing existed. So it the easiest thing to do, probably just change the name. I think Blizzard's capable of better names anyways. I mean, Warcraft, it's not too original, I guess. It neither's Overwatch, but come on.
Or they just buy it out.
Or they give it a subtitle. How's that?
Yeah. I think they'll just pay the money and buy it out so they can get that. That's what I think anyways.
Well,
Well,
keep to your
I don't
seats.
think there's a lot of recognition though for Overwatch, right? As opposed to other of his IPs.
Well,
They can change it, right?
Right. The unique thing about this, though, in particular, is this is an original IP that Blizzard has created. The first in almost, I want to say, 15 years, 20 years. Like, we've had nothing but Warcrafts and Starcraft. There hasn't been anything else. So now Blizzard.
Maybe this one will be Shootercraft.
A completely, Shootercraft. They just feel the FPS scene needs, a little more competition. So why not? I'm all for it. Let's change the name. I don't care.
Guncraft.
Bulletcraft.
Yeah. It's probably going to end with craft.
It's a sad day for everybody because Nintendo has pulled out of Brazil.
Well, they weren't doing very well up down there, were they?
No, and I'm trying to find the reason. I had an article, but this isn't the right one. God damn it.
Sales. It was the tariffs. It was
Tensions.
costing too much money.
It's the tariffs.
It was costing too much money for the games to be imported and exported and all that jazz.
Right.
So it's easier for them to say, you know what, we make maybe 2 cents on every game. Screw it. Pull out. Put our resources somewhere else.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Did not come prepared for that one.
You're like,
right.
tension.
Can you imagine though, like being on the receiving end of that? Just one day Nintendo pulls out of your country and you're just like, fuck, what do I do?
Put it this way: Sega Genesis is still being sold down there.
Really?
Yes.
Brand new Sega Genesis systems are still being sold in Brazil. The Sega Master System, not Genesis, the Master System.
Knockoffs we're talking though.
No. Like Sega themselves were still manufacturing them up to, I think, 2001, 2002. or manufacturing them brand new for Brazilian customers.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
up to 2001?
Yeah.
But that is exactly how, like, when they cut off production of the console. Like, completely. They might have stopped sales in the States early, but okay,
So
sorry.
Sega Genesis, like the 16-bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking
The hell
Dreamcast.
were you thinking?
I thought you were talking Dreamcast.
No, like Sega Genesis and the
Yeah.
Sega Master,
Yeah,
which
no,
was
I
the
hear you.
Nintendo one, right?
I'm here.
Yeah.
Cool your jets.
My name is Matt. I
Just-
work for a
just
game
so-
magazine, and I just
so everybody,
forget.
I didn't know we were a magazine. Can I start doing cartoons?
Do it.
I'm gonna do like some political cartoons. I'm gonna get quite risque. Okay.
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 But no, yeah, the Sega Genesis, the older systems.
That's
Yeah,
super
Nintendo
cool.
was sorry, but the Nintendo wasn't big down there. I don't think, right? I think it was more Sega and then PlayStation, but Nintendo never really took off down there. So
Oh.
I think it's the music, the emulation of what the Sega Master System and the Genesis could do. I mean, the biggest music coming out of down there is what, pan flute?
no, I'm just saying I don't know how big the sales were anyways of Nintendo. And as Chaz was saying, the import, uh, the amount of money that they were. I think that there's a lot of taxation, right, for games in Brazil, and I think that was the problem, as Jess said.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Just unfortunate that it had to be Nintendo, but I guess if no one down there is playing it, guess it's not a big loss for Nintendo.
Nope.
nope.
Nope. So there's a rumor circulating online that Nintendo may be looking into freeform LCDs for an upcoming device. Sources revealed to Japan Times that Nintendo is close to making a deal with that will enable it to buy freeform shape-shifting LCDs from Japanese manufacturer Sharp, which would be super cool. You guys know what I mean by that, freeform, right?
No.
My understanding of freeform are like custom shaped screens. So it's not specifically like just the rectangular shape, you know?
So you get like a penis shaped screen?
In theory, yes. Freeform by definition, created or done in any way you choose, not required to have particular patterns or forms. So let's say a truly personalized mobile console. You can have it any size, any way you want. It'll run the same software. It'll perform the same either way you look at it. Completely freeform. What do you say to that? I mean, that's not actually what's happening. This is what I'm talking on my ass at this point. Help me out, guys.
Well, it's like the new smartwatches or whatever, wearables, right? That they had the square screen and now they have the circular screen. I mean,
Yeah, but
I
they
think
all have a circular screen.
The LG
all-
is a square.
yeah, they don't all have a circular
Oh,
screen.
Oh, okay.
They have so and they run the same like for Android, right? They have the square and the circle, but they both have the same software. So it's kind of like that, I guess, where you have different forms.
Don't go by my theory. That is my suggestion. All we know
I
is
mean-
that freeform LCDs are being studied and developed for whatever reason with Nintendo.
I don't know. Is it Nintendo coming out with another console?
Well, they just came out with this year's Nintendo DS. Well, I guess they haven't officially come out with it yet. There's a rumor it'll come out next month, though. Those pictures just surfaced online today, I think. But I mean, let's say maybe 2 years down the road, maybe they will be looking to launch a next mobile platform. Like the 3DS or the DS platform alone, I think has existed for 15 years, has it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, they've been riding on that wave for a while. Not saying it's a bad name, but maybe it's time to change it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's gonna be different. That's to see what the next innovation of Nintendo is. Um, it's fun to see them ride the coattails though of the 3DS for as long as they have, or even the DS name. Dual screen, 3D. And then for them to like ditch the Wii for the Wii U, and are they going to ditch the Wii U for something else?
Now, you didn't exactly warrant for this, but I'm going to say it now. We're probably going to get nothing more than a small gamepad. Like, I was talking maybe a new Wii console. We might get as much as a new gamepad. Because that would probably be the most inexpensive fix for Nintendo. If the Wii U's not necessarily meeting up to, not saying that it's underperformed, but what if they're already hitting a ceiling? I have a feeling like they've already kind of like pushed the potential of this unit.
You think so?
I don't know. I was listening to a number of like things that Masahiro Sakurai had to talk about in interviews following the release of Super Smash Brothers, and he expresses the frustration and the blood, sweat, and tears that was put into this game, but he also emphasized the limitations they had with the hardware that they were given. Yes, it provides an 8-player Smash experience, but that's limited on certain stages, and with those stages there are certain elements that are taken out because the system simply cannot handle so many players at once. And they've wanted to do 8-player Smash as early as Melee, but due to hardware limitations it's never been possible. So with this version of Smash Brothers we have today, they just got through with the skin of their teeth. Like, they literally put in as much as they possibly could have. And so like that tells me that I'm sure Smash Brothers had great influence on the development of the console. But now, like, I don't know, maybe they're already pushing it. I don't know where to go from that. I'm repeating myself at this point. Sorry.
Yeah. When the Wii U came out, though, it was already old hardware as it was. So.
Yeah.
Well, it had that new gimmick with the gamepad, right? It was all about.
But the hardware itself was old. I mean, compared to the next gen, right? It's kind of an in-between gen.
Sort of like we're sorry for the Wii. Here's what we actually wanted to make.
Yeah.
Now we need like a true next gen system.
Yeah, because the Wii U is not it's probably as powerful as the PS3 and Xbox 360, right? I don't think it's much more powerful than any of those two.
Yeah, no, I would say no better than a PS3.
Yeah. So it's already old when it came out, so that's to be expected.
Nintendo seems to have their own agenda, though. Like, there's no doubt that Nintendo dominated last year. They were the only of them, Sony and Microsoft, to not have to deal with a broken game. Like, they were the only ones, and they were on that throne, riding it all the way out for the whole 12 months. I mean, nowadays, I don't know, what do they got? It's a new year. Let's get some new flavor going in. I'm tired of talking about this Wii shit.
Well, technically they had the broken game, Mario Kart 8. It wasn't broken, but it needed to be patched. And they were almost refused to do it, and then they finally did it. So, I tip my hat to Nintendo on that one for sure.
Well, Nintendo's not accustomed to patching their games.
They're not in the new generation.
They're like just getting into downloadable
Internet
content and proper online service, and they even have an e-market, which is great, but I guess we had that on Wii, but like it's even better now. It's just, it's not enough, Nintendo, and it's like they're taking their baby steps, but now I want to see like what they can really do. I mean, they've been doing this for a year now. They've sort of like learned things. We didn't have any problems with the Miiverse dying on us, or I guess it's Nintendo Network.
Yeah,
I think those are two separate identities. I don't know. But like, Nintendo, from their perspective, I'm sure they don't see it the way we do. They don't see that there's a demand for a new console. Of course, there's always a demand for a new console. People just want the next best thing, but like.
Always demand. There's always going to be a demand for a Nintendo console, no matter no matter what.
Until they get it right.
Until they get it right, and even when they do get it right, it won't be right.
Well, the thing is that Nintendo, right? The good thing that Nintendo does, at least for them, is that they develop their own games, right? The Marios, the Zeldas, Metroids, and whatnot. They are all only Nintendo. So it does not matter at the end of the day the hardware, because you're gonna buy it because you want to play Zelda, right? And you are only gonna be able to play Zelda in that Nintendo console. So
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and that's their entire business strategy, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's a great strategy.
And it's worked since 1987.
And that's why I bite my lip on this whole thing, because it's like, well, you know, it'd be nice to if they were thinking more like everyone else, because then we could have a system just as strong and maybe a system that can play DVDs. But at the same time, it's like it's Nintendo, and I will still go back to play Zelda. I will still go back to play Donkey Kong. I'll do it for Mario. You know, that's not going anywhere else. But
yeah,
you know, maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's what Sony and Microsoft did wrong. As nice as it may seem to have third-party software and shit on all consoles, maybe it was just better to keep your exclusives instead of
to work on the exclusives, to pay attention to the exclusives, and make them, you know, as good as they are, and trust in them, right?
Well, like starting
not
out
like
with
you know Capcom,
exclusive,
who just pisses all over their fucking games all the time.
Because they're a respected brand, and they're taking advantage of that title. Like, I look at a Capcom game, I see Capcom's name on it, I trust it's going to be a good game, but you're right, that recently they've been producing a lot of crap.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they lost one of their best game developers, and now they have another Mega Man clone to deal with. Like, something that's actually more true to Mega Man than I think Mega Man is now.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, Mega Man.
There's no Mega Man. Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about Mighty Number 9. Like, everything about that. It's like what Bungie did with Destiny. Destiny is nothing but Halo, and Mighty Number 9 is nothing but Mega Man.
I like Destiny.
I'm not shooting it down. I'm just saying.
No. I'm just saying, like, over the Christmas break, I've been playing it nonstop.
And I see you've been posting pictures and stuff.
Yeah, it's just addictive.
Yeah, well.
Actually, I got the game on Boxing Day and started playing on the 31st and played it up to now, and I've already maxed out 2 characters, so.
Wow.
That's crazy, man.
Anyways, but I mean Capcom's released a new Mega Man game for the mobile system for South Korea only.
Mobile system. South Korea only. Woo.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They're pissing all over their heritage. Respect the games that brought you to the dance. That's what I say. And I think Nintendo does that. Mario, Zelda, Star Fox. They haven't pissed on any of their original titles to say no. Well, except for when they give them out to other systems, CDI.
Yeah, I hear you. Are you hearing me okay? Because there seems to be some sort of a network. Jared? Hello?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm just screwing with you.
Antonio?
I think we lost him. He's beeping.
Just give it a minute. Whoa, Antonio! Nice of you to come back. Where did you go?
Just you know how it is.
Yeah, I do know.
Take a break.
Yeah,
just
man.
Take a break.
Do I irritate you that much?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I just met you. Just irritating me now.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Okay, well, we'll probably end the show here anyways, because I think we've pretty much addressed everything to do with the news that's broken up over the holiday season. Make sure you guys check back next week for another wonderful episode featuring myself and Kaz, and hopefully Antonio will be with us next week.
Yeah, you know what? I like this. I like to be able to talk with people about video games. I don't get to do that much here, so
I feel your pain,
buddy.
Thank
you guys for inviting me. Yeah, thank you guys for inviting me. I enjoy this a lot.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Yeah,
keep coming back. We'll keep this going for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The more the merrier, that's for sure. So.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
But all right.
nonetheless, shall we? Shall I
Yes,
go
we
first?
shall. Please.
All
I
right.
insist.
Me. No. My name is Cazteck, coming from Ottawa, Ontario. Please remember to check out theconsoleexplosion.com for all your video game and geek news. Also, go to our website, check out all our features, from Antonio to the Co-op Couch to A Squared Gaming to our new shows, Half an Hour of Power, exclusively to SoundCloud.com, as well as follow us on Twitter, Facebook. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you want to be part of the show or you want to be part of the website, go to the website. Again, www.theconsoleexplosion.com. See you later.
This is Antonio Diaz. I'm from Guadalajara, and thank you guys for inviting me again. And hopefully you can check my show, Gokado Retro Reviews, at YouTube. I'm Gokadito, Gokadito, at Twitter, and I'm also featured in the Colossal Explosion. I love the site, guys. Thank you for inviting me here.
Well, thanks for joining us, Antonio. And I am Matt. I'm from the Console Explosion website, as well as the Co-op Couch Show. That's my thing. You guys can check us out on YouTube or at the website, of course, and email me at coopcouchshow@gmail.com. I prefer people go to that inbox because I'm more focused on that inbox. So, yeah, check out all our good stuff. But anyways, good game.
Good game.